On yesterday's show, you heard me talk about a poll from last summer that found a whopping 75% of Americans feel democracy in the U.S. is imperiled right now. Well, we wanted to put that question directly to voters here in the North Country on Election Day. What we learned? Yes, people are sick and tired of the deeply divided national political scene. But they have hope when they think about their own local town and village councils. That's today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Long Run Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor in Lake Placid, providing comprehensive wealth management, retirement, and financial planning solutions. LongRunWealth.com.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Wednesday, November 8th. First up, let's get to some election results. Tons of towns, villages, and cities across the 10-county North Country region had local races yesterday, so we're sorry we can't get to them all, but here are a few that stand out. First, those statewide ballot initiatives on the backside of your ballot. According to unofficial results, voters passed both proposed amendments to the state constitution yesterday. The first will allow cities and towns to go beyond their debt limits to build new sewage facilities. They currently have this power, and the measure extends it for 10 more years. The other amendment removes a debt limit for small city school districts. It passed 65 to 35%. Those districts have argued that the limit is unfair when they're trying to tackle more ambitious projects to improve their schools, and that all schools across the state should be treated equally. History was made in Watertown yesterday. Sarah Campo Pierce will be Watertown's first woman mayor. Catherine Wheeler reports Campo Pierce handily defeated Lisa Ruggiero.
Unofficial results from the Jefferson County Board of Elections shows that Sarah Campo Pierce won nearly 70% of the vote, while her opponent Lisa Ruggiero received close to 30%. Campo Pierce says she's excited for the new challenge.
It's also incredibly humbling for me to be the first woman in this position. It's a history-making moment for the city, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity, and I look forward to giving 110% to the position, which is what the city residents deserve.
Campo Pierce said as mayor, she'll be focusing on fixing what she calls the dysfunction that's become common at city meetings.
One of the first things that I am looking forward to doing is working with the new council members to restore our meetings to a point of civility and being more productive for the people of Watertown. We definitely have some significant tasks ahead for the city and significant efforts that we need to work toward.
Campo Pierce said a top priority for her will be improving the city's drinking water quality, along with improving the city's fiscal responsibility. She said she also wants to look for opportunities to collaborate with nearby communities. Campo Pierce has been on Watertown City Council for nearly 5 years. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio.
Voters in Lewis County re-elected Sheriff Mike Carpinelli. He has ties to some far-right groups and has become known for refusing to enforce certain state laws. As Emily Russell reports, Carpinelli won yesterday's election in a landslide.
Lewis County Sheriff Mike Carpinelli was up against retired state trooper Nicole Turk. They're both Republicans, but Turk lost in the primary, so she ran on the conservative party line. She campaigned on the idea that the county needed a change in its top law enforcement official. According to unofficial election results, Carpinelli beat Turk by a 30-point margin. That's an even bigger landslide victory than the last time he was challenged in 2015. One county legislator recently described Carpinelli as the most popular politician in Lewis County. He's gained popularity over his 12 years as sheriff for pushing back against certain gun laws and COVID health mandates. Carpinelli has also been public about his ties to two far-right groups, the Oath Keepers and the Constitutional Sheriffs. While some of his supporters are unaware of those ties, others say they support Carpinelli's affiliations with those kinds of groups. Carpinelli said earlier this year if he was reelected, he'd focus on addressing the opioid epidemic in Lewis County and encouraging lawmakers to roll back the statewide bail reform. Emily Russell, North Country Public Radio.
The Clinton County Legislature will remain split between Republicans and Democrats. That's because the GOP held the seat representing Area 5, which covers Schuyler Falls and parts of the towns of Peru and Plattsburgh. Kara Chapman has that story.
Republican Kevin Randall beat Democrat Rick Hazen by about 13 percentage points, according to unofficial tallies. Randall is a retired corrections lieutenant, longtime volunteer firefighter, and current supervisor for the town of Schuyler Falls. Reached by phone late last night, Randall said he appreciates the support voters gave him.
It's so humbling to get the support and to be elected into a position of any type, but especially the county legislator. I think I can do a lot to help the residents that I will represent in Area 5.
The legislature has been evenly split between Republicans and Democrats, with a Republican chair and Democratic deputy chair for the last few years. It'll appoint its leaders at its organizational meeting in January. Also in Clinton County, voters re-elected Republican John Zerlo Sr. to an 8th term as county clerk. Unofficial results showed he beat Democratic challenger Brandy Lloyd by more than 1,100 votes. Zerlo ran on his experience in the position. Lloyd is the county's deputy Democratic elections commissioner. Kara Chapman, North Country Public Radio.
We have reporters all over the North Country, every day really, but especially on Election Day. And so we went out and talked to voters about how they're feeling about the current state of democracy in the United States. The people we talked to see a lot of division and polarization nationally, but they're more optimistic about their local governments. Here are some of those voices.
I live in Saranac Lake. My name is Richard Mose. I think we had to change everything they got. Everybody should be replaced. Look what's going on. We're not in a war, but we're spending billions of dollars over there. Not for me.
I'm frightened. I'm very frightened. I don't know how to describe it other than I'm fearful. I don't know. We were watching the news this morning where I got to watch Trump. He acted like my teenagers that I teach. Like he wanted to pick a fight with people, and I'm afraid that that's what society is becoming, that politics is picking a fight. It's not knowing what you want. It's just to pick a fight with somebody. Kristen Remington Donahue. I live right here in Canton.
Jim Donahue. I live here in Canton. Like Kristen, I think that there is a lot of fight picking happening. I think democracy is under attack largely by the people we're voting for. I have very little faith in, I don't know, you might just call it the machine or corporate interests. And it's, I think that's why it's particularly important to vote for local measures. I think that's where we have the most local control and where we have the strongest voice.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Houston. I live in the township of Jay. I think if you look at the town of Jay, our local government, I think it's pretty diverse. If you look at our town council and everything, you know, other people have moved here from the outside, what we used to call outsiders. In any event, I think they bring new ideas to the table. You know, I'm a conservative Republican and maybe they're progressive Democrat. I don't know. But on this level, I think we find a lot of common ground. You know, we can't just stay the same as we were when I was 16 or 17. Nationally, I think we're very weak. I think the world sees it. You know, there's a lot of bad players in the world, and we don't have a strong administration. If you want to have a peaceful world, you have to do it from a position of strength. So,
I'm Jeannie Nichols, and I live in Upper Jay, New York. I think the state of our democracy is in trouble, and people need to participate. We need to get Mr. Trump not on the ballot.
Hi, my name is Paul Reno, and I live in the town of Osable.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Reno. Well, I believe that democracy is really under terrible pain. Just the way people are killing each other. We don't have the right gun laws. And I also think it's a civic duty to vote.
It's one thing that's very, very important to us, that we're given a say in how this country should be governed, and we have a certain view that it should be governed by the Constitution. And we see so many people across the country and people who are in high places who just are turning their backs on that.
Voters across the North Country weighing in on the state of democracy in the U.S. these days. We have all the election results on our website, ncpr.org, and always more local and national news there from NPR anytime, ncpr.org. Music today by Jared Stephen Doyle of Potsdam and Caitlin Scholl of Lake Placid. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.